If you're selling in enterprise today, your job has completely changed. Deals aren't stalling because your product is rubbish. They're stalling because the buying process is an absolute minefield. Finance is gatekeeping budgets, legal is dragging timelines, IT is poking holes in security, and you're sitting there with one lonely champion thinking, that'll do. Spoiler alert, it won't. So let me show you how to combat the battles you're facing in enterprise right now. And this is for both you AEs and SDRs. Number one, multi-threading at enterprise level. Why it matters. Deals stall because of hidden veto players. Finance, procurement, IT, legal. I'm giving you guys a practical play. AEs, map out the buying committee before you're meeting your first demo. Before the meeting with the prospect, map out on a business plan or a deck that you've created the buying committee. And it's okay to leave gaps, because guess what? They will help you fill in the gaps because you've come prepared. Here's what I know so far, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect. My understanding is X, Y, and Z, and ABC will be involved in this process, but I'm not sure if A, I've got this right, and B, there's other people missing from here. Are you able to assist? Before you even ask that, they're going to tell you that person's not right. It's human nature to correct. It's human nature to correct people. If I go around telling everyone the sky is green, first thing people are going to do is what? No, Neil, the sky's blue or grey if you're in the UK. Use MedPick as a framework. Now, SDRs, you can help this process by finding soft champions across departments before those first calls. Finance contacts, security leaders, HR heads, depending on the tool. It's in your best interest that the AE is fully armed to build that credibility and try and get this deal over the line, because it's a deal that will also count for you because you sourced it. Work as a team. Every meeting, aim to add one new stakeholder. Now, there are enterprise spaces where you will potentially only have one or two champions and your decision-making process is very straightforward. However, in those more complex cycles, what we want to do is make sure we progress from one meeting to the next by adding other stakeholders. If there's multiple people involved in the decision making and buying process, you want to get face time with all of them. The moment you don't is the moment they could be potential black swans and they can derail your team, derail your deal at any given moment, and you've got no visibility on it. You want to make sure that you get face time with every single stakeholder and every single person involved in the buying process, or as many as you can, because everyone that you don't is a person that could derail your deal without you even realizing. And then I've obviously added, don't leave until you know who else will be involved in this decision. It all ties up into one. Okay, number two, CFO first mindset. What do I mean? In 2025, the CFO is the main blocker. How do you get past this? Shift your messaging. Stop selling growth. CFOs are being armed with business mandates to cut spending, to streamline the business, and not net new spend. So if you're selling growth, guess what? They're switching off. You need to start getting on the same page as them. Align yourself with their goals. Sell cost avoidance, sell risk reduction, sell consolidation, sell return on investment, and speed. Speed kills. Bring ROI frameworks to every deal, guys. Not just our software is faster, but we can cut, be specific, we can cut X amount of dollars in redundant licenses or reduce risk of compliance fines by Y%. Remember, we spoke a couple of weeks ago about the lay of the land and how across the SaaS space, over 50% of user licenses, software licenses, are not being utilized. Well, guess who knows that? the CFO, the prospects you're speaking to, the finance departments, the business as a whole knows they're using less than half the licenses they purchased previously. You want to align with that, we can cut X amount of dollars in redundant licenses. Again, link this to whatever you're selling, guys. Yeah. Build a business case doc in parallel with your champion. Already start it before you've even had a meeting with them. And then this is a document you're going to build together. And why you're doing this? Because they can walk into the CFO's office armed with numbers, not just hype. Obviously, you want to get FaceTime with the CFO. There will be times where you can't and you don't have access to someone. You need to make sure your champion is prepped. That is your job. You can't control what they do in a meeting from a distance, but you definitely can't have any influence if you haven't got a business case doc that you've built together with them and prep them. Number 3, enterprise discovery over checklists. What do I mean by that? The old way of SDRs qualifying with BANT and A's asking the same questions, they're done. They are finished. You're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to wind people up. You're probably going to end up having no-shows in the second meeting as a result. The new way, SDRs, you're going to uncover real business pain and you're going to collect company-specific context. Not just do you have budget, but how are you managing X today and what's the cost of that? AEs, you're going to run an exec level discovery. Get the prospect to look up and think. Yeah, that look there. That's a great question, Neil. Yes. Ask questions that reframe the way they see their problem. For example, what would happen if this problem isn't solved in the next 12 months? Which budget bucket would this come from and who owns it? And another great question I love, if you could reallocate $1 million tomorrow, where would you put it? Get them thinking. These are questions that not everyone is asking. This will separate you from 95% of other AEs out there. Number 4, enterprise proof points, POCs and pilots. Buyers don't trust promises, especially in today's market. They need proof, guys, and we can do all the selling we want and we can be the best salesperson in the world. If we can't show them some proof that this works in their environment, you think they're going to invest, especially with their business mandate they've got of not spending on new tools. No chance. Position pilots not as trials, but as low-risk experiments with success criteria. Easy for me to say. Always define measurable outcomes up front. Look, get your trial parameters or your experiment parameters in place before we roll it out. Just so we can agree on something. If we can reduce X by 15% in 30 days, would this be something that you think the business would move forward on? Again, relay it to your current job, situation, tool, business, whatever you're working with. The SDRs, you've got a different angle here. When booking the first meeting, set the expectations. Many of our enterprise customers start with a 30-day pilot. Is that how long your organization normally needs to validate new tech? Now, you might not do a 30-day pilot. You might do 14-day. Well, again, this is just an example. But start asking these questions so they're not suddenly then caught off guard by the AE. Make the AE's job easier by setting and managing expectations of your prospect while showing credibility. Typically, a lot of our customers start off with a 14-day pilot or a 14-day experiment, however you want to word it. Is that how your organization normally validates new tech? Well, actually, it isn't, but it would be a great way to validate it. Okay, great. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is enterprise, it's not SMB. We're not trying to get it over the line ASAP here. Oh, obviously, we are, but there's more hoops and more hurdles and more teams, more stakeholders that we need to manage. Okay, so naturally the sales cycle is going to be longer. And number 5, enterprise objection handling. Key enterprise objections today. We don't have budget. Reframe that to where could budget be reallocated? We already have tools. Flip that to are they being fully used or are you overpaying for shelfware? Not a priority right now. What priorities are on the table? Could this actually support them? Now you're speaking their language. They've got other priorities and you're trying to sell them something else. No, these are the priorities. Understand them and then understand where can we add value and support their priorities. They're not going to shift their priorities suddenly because you're an extra charismatic salesperson. Here's the mindset you need to have. Objection equals clues about internal politics and funding. Everything is about internal politics and funding. Instead of batting them down, which is going to get you nowhere, and you know this, yeah, logic. When you have an argument with a colleague or a friend or family member, what happens when you start arguing and being combative with them? You get nowhere. Use them to uncover who's blocking and why. If you know who's blocking it and you know why they're blocking it, now that knowledge becomes power. Information's power for you guys. Then you can utilize it accordingly. Number 6, enterprise AE equals a project manager. It's a new reality, guys. Closing a 500K deal is 80% orchestration, 20% selling. Now, those numbers might change a little bit depending on what you're selling and depending on the actual products and the sales cycles. But fundamentally, you are a project manager as well as a salesperson. You're coordinating legal, security, finance, IT, end users, and in some cases, exec sponsors, right? Multiple teams. The best reps use a mutual action plan. If you don't know what a mutual action plan is, it's basically a simple document that says, here's a path to signature, here's who owns what, here's the timeline. And then you're going to share it with them and say, look, I'm going to send this across to you. So now we've got certain timelines to work with. And now you have a reason every time you follow up, are we still on track? We had a deadline day of 27th of August for X. Have we managed to hit that? We've hit a snag on our side. Right. Okay. Why is that? Okay, cool. Then you can adjust it and adjust your mutual action plan. SDRs, you're no longer appointment setters. You're researchers and problem hunters. AEs, you're not showmen anymore. You're risk managers and project leads. If you play at that level, you'll survive. If you don't, you'll be part of the 80% of reps that are set to miss quota this year. Guys, enterprise has changed. It is time you changed with it. Okay, guys, that's it for another week of the SaaS Sales Misfit podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you need more discovery questions like the ones we've just discussed, I have put together my personal best 50 questions that you need in today's market. They're free and the link is in the description below. Knock yourself out. And guys, if you liked it, please like and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. It helps me reach more people and it means I can continue helping others. And if you're after more content similar to this, click on the next video and I'll see you lot there.